So that concludes this 5-day India EMBO lecture course. I hope everyone had a wonderful time. Just to
I didn't discuss with all of you. I think
just to close things off, I would like to invite Dr. Surat, Dr. Radha, and Dr. Madhu to please come on stage. And now we're going to do what everyone has been waiting for. We'll be distributing and announcing the prizes for the poster and oral presentations. Can we please have another round of applause for Rashmi? Second prize for oral presentations goes to one of our participants who could not be here physically, Kehinde Oluwasegun Aina. So please let's have a round of applause for him. And the third prize for oral presentation goes to Ami Doshi. Can we please have a round of applause? Let's have another round of applause for Ami. Now I'll move on to the poster prizes. So the winners in the jury category for posters are Maheshwaran Mani, Viraj Mehta, and Saurav Mukherjee. Please come on stage. Now I would like Dr. Madhu, Dr. Radha, and Dr. Surat all to please say a few words.
Good evening, everybody. After 5 days of these deliberations on this very exciting topic, I've been given the task of summing up the proceedings. There was certainly no doubt that it is essential, and I stress essential, that we have to improvise on the models we have been using thus far for the study of human biology and drug discovery. Our understanding of cell signaling and behavior, our ability to manipulate the genome and alter cell properties, and importantly, multidisciplinary engagement incorporating advances in big data management, material sciences, chips, and 3D printing devices has enabled new technologies. It is therefore important to change with time and not be devoted to a familiar assay system. An open mind certainly enables you to break away from less effective ideas and systems and to move towards more effective and newer ones. During this lecture course, all of you have had a very good overview of the achievements made in microphysiological systems in the last few years, with examples of multiple 3D organ systems being discussed, ranging from, name it, blood vessels, gut, pancreas, embryos, lung, lymph node, skin, heart, eye, etc. These organ-mimicking structures have been modeled as spheroids, organoids, organ-on-chips, or even as monolayers. And we have seen evidence of their utility in studying development, infection, mechanism of disease, injury, genetic disorders, gene-environment interaction, drug efficacy, toxicity, and a variety of other utilities. In the process, we have also identified novel molecular players and also developed a variety of substrates. Very often, these new assays are amenable to manipulation and enable multiplexing. Some in vitro models have even led to regenerative therapies. Parallelly, we have been able to develop appropriate adhesive surfaces and chip patterns that facilitate the 3D cultures by mimicking in vivo environment of the organs and enabling oxygen, nutrient supply, and mechanical forces. Considerable improvements have also been made in advanced microscopy that have been mentioned and have enabled monitoring the dynamic changes in live organoid systems. Let me reiterate that these various model systems are specific to the function being addressed. No single model is superior to another. Some systems are better modeled as bilayers, some as spheroids, and others as organoids or organ-on-chips. Therefore, know what you are working with and what you are working for. Apart from showcasing these models, we also had talks that emphasized the importance of good cell culture practices that pointed out loopholes where one can end up in misadventures. These can be avoided by referring to guidance documents, and we know very well that no model system is perfect. The number of drugs withdrawn from the market serves as warnings that all is not well with our model systems, and we may still need to improvise for safety assessment and pharmacodynamics. Hints were also given on ways to de-risk if you are in the industry. I would particularly like to appreciate the work presented by young researchers in oral and poster presentations. Looking at their interest and enthusiasm in participation, we have a clear indication that we are moving in the right direction by researching and adopting microphysiological systems. I'm sure many would like to participate in forthcoming meetings mentioned by the speakers to get updated on latest developments. There is no better learning than getting your hands dirty. One of the highlights of this meeting has been the demo conducted by Dr. Majumdar and his team, which was sought after with great enthusiasm. I'm sure you learned a lot. In addition, I'm sure the sessions on career counseling would help and guide in choosing what one wishes to do next. As we move towards personalized medicine like made-to-order person on a chip or clinical trials on a chip that were mentioned in some of the talks, the future is yours, and there are plenty of opportunities. As mentioned in the inaugural address, we have to use our knowledge of molecules to alleviate disease. That is the area of molecular medicine. The goal of WHO is to have health equity, all the more essential from the recent pandemic, which showed that nobody is safe until the whole of mankind is safe. Developing models is still a far way off from their utilization for drug discovery. Therefore, the important task lies ahead in providing sufficient data for the regulatory agency acceptance, where there's a need for researchers, pharma industry, and policymakers to hold hands together. One thing is very clear. The world is fast moving towards developing and adopting microphysiological systems. This is an area where researchers have also become entrepreneurs and are enabling wider reach for their models. It is said that knowledge is intoxicating and you crave for more. I hope that the talks and interactions in the last few days will prompt you to follow future developments and also contribute to the field. I hope all of you have enjoyed this lecture course as much as we have had in hosting it. Best wishes and safe travel back to all of those who came from outside the city. All the best to you.
Thanks, everyone. So finally, we have reached the end of 5 days packed with very engaging and insightful lectures. So we had gotten this EMBO grant almost 2 years back, and we had to keep postponing this event due to various COVID restrictions before finally settling on these dates. So it has been a long road to reach here. And almost all of the Indian speakers who spoke during this meeting have been a part of the CPHMS journey over the past few years. where they have been part of the webinar series, white papers, or the roundtable discussions that we have had with government and regulatory bodies to advance this field in India. I would like to thank all of them, Dr. Abhijit, Dr. Indumati, Dr. Karishma, Dr. Rath, Dr. Dravida, Dr. Mani, Dr. Suresh, Dr. Tuli De, and Dr. Uday for constantly supporting us in our various initiatives. And also thanks to all the foreign speakers, Dr. Roth, Dr. Vandermeer, Dr. Grappenbotten, Dr. Ingberg, Dr. Tenje, Dr. Loskill, Dr. Librali, Dr. Horland, Dr. Sandra, Dr. Stephanie, Dr. Hartung, Dr. Tripa, and special thanks to Dr. Pamis, Dr. Armin Wolf, Dr. Claudia, and Dr. Girija, who flew down to India for this meeting. All the foreign speakers have been very kind to respond to my cold emails and agree to be a part of this lecture course. So at this point, I would just like to insert a small point about cold emails to all the students. Like we have been talking about networking, and sometimes students, as students, we often feel like where do we start, right? Because especially if you're starting in a new field, because you don't know the right connections, and if you often feel like a bit lost. So I would like to highlight that almost all the connections that we have made in CPHMS started with a cold call or a cold email. So don't underestimate the power of that. And if you want to enter into a new field, or you want to learn a new technique or do internship, just write to people. You might be surprised at how many people are kind enough to write back. So I just wanted to insert that point. And all of this obviously would have no meaning without our enthusiastic participants who have taken a very active role in our talks, networking sessions, and workshop. A huge thanks to them. And also our CPHMS team, Kasturi, Anushka, and Kadambari, whom you have met and also received their emails for the past several months, who have worked tirelessly over the past several months to ensure that all the participants have a seamless and a very memorable learning experience. I just hope that you all keep supporting and keep engaging with us post this meeting also, and we find new ways of kind of trying to take this field forward. Thanks a lot.
When we started CPHMS 4 years ago, Surat was the first person to take that up. And it's been a very, very fruitful journey for us. And one of the big culmination point and the happy moment for me personally is this meeting, a 5-day meeting that is, in my opinion, went out very well. And I hope you enjoyed as much as we enjoyed hosting it. And I'm very thankful to all the people, especially I just want to call the 3 critical people, Kasturi, Kadambari, and Anushka to the stage. They have put such tremendous efforts. Anushka. Thank you very much. I mean, they really, this kind of EMBO award was given to us almost 1.5 years ago, but during the COVID time, so we kept on postponing to take a date so that, people is more convenient for them to come in. So it's almost last 8 months, these people, all 3 of them were working very, very much at it, and I think their efforts were very much acknowledged. Thank you very much. And I personally like microphysiological system is one of our 3 verticals we want to focus as we go along in near future. Besides the microphysiological systems, we wanted to focus on systems biology approaches and also AOPs, because how do we bring in other things to make a more impact in alternate methods to animals. So that's one of our verticals also we go for. And besides this, as probably we must have mentioned in somewhere in the last 5 years, that we wanted to convince the policymakers to the extent possible, and I need everybody's effort in this. It's just we will be a catalyst in doing it or some supportive system, but we look forward the participation of each of you in this area. I'm sure that's already been very good, but we wanted to come up with a more convincing and convincing policy papers, bring in DCGI, CPC, ACA, you just name it. We have to bring all those people, ministry, pharma industry, to make sure that they listen to it and accept some of these methods that are already been accepted elsewhere in the world. So we really request your constant support in this, whichever way it can be. And I like personally this area because it's an interdisciplinary area. Anybody can contribute, like nanotechnology or nanomedicine. You know, cell biologists, polymer chemists, electronic engineers, you just name it, anybody can contribute. I think this is the best way of looking at it because it addresses both basic questions, co-cultures. It's a very interesting topic. So basic questions at the same time applied research. Today's mahol, if you look at in India, the science is going towards more, some deliverables, not alone doing a research for research's sake, but you should be able to come out with something that impacts the society around, including humans. So this nicely falls into that requirement of both basic and applied. I think that should enthuse most of the students here to be part of this more and more because it answers very fundamental questions in cell biology and at the same time comes up with alternate methods that have a long impact in reducing the usage of animals. So this is my opinion, and I thank you on my personal behalf for each one of you for being here. And as Radha said, hope you all had very, very good time and also have a safe journey and see you soon. But we'll make sure that we'll see you soon. And thank you those speakers who are not here but have contributed, could not come for various reasons. I thank them again for their constant support. And not the last, but EMBO has been extremely supportive to us in conducting it. There are so many challenges because, foreign money coming in, these days government has certain rules, so we had to overcome all this. And both CCMB and India Alliance and EMBO had been very accommodative and they have gave suggestions for us to make sure these things happen. I thank all of them. Thank you very much for your attention and for your participation. Thank you.
Everybody runs away. I was asked to stop by for a second and give some feedback on the conference per se. I think they've done a fantastic job. It's like a world-class conference that has taken place the past few days. I've been to multiple conferences and workshops. The quality, the timeliness, the precision, and how they maintained time, the food, and the special touch of bringing the pearl vendors there for all the people here. I think it's an awesome job. The food was great, brought back memories from when I used to live here, and the respect, the way it's maintained, run, and I think it was an amazing job. I'd like all of you to join me in giving to the organizer again. And thank you for having us here. We appreciate it. And one last thing, I had a little raffle that I put out there. Thanks for everybody who participated. I have 3 names here. You can pick it up from me while we're having snacks. I have Suresh for the hanging drop plates. I have Arpita Bhatt for the 96 well plate, and Sheetal Yadav for the 384 well plate. So please pick it up. Thank you. Thank you, guys.
Words as the conductor of the workshop, but actually it was done by the team. But before I kind of go there, first of all, let me thank the whole CPHMS team. I started interacting with Surat in 2015 when I, conducted an one-day Indo-French symposium. EIC did not come into picture by that time, I guess, but that was the first, alternate to animal model. And then, this time when this thing happened and they invited me as a speaker, and Kadambari came to IIT Bombay to give a kind of a, promotional talk. And then we came up in the discussion that we can add this, workshop to the whole module. And I must say that since then I have interacted with Professor Radha and her team, including obviously Anushka, Surat. I actually did not interact with Kasturi much, before coming here. And we made, lot of different demands that, okay, for this, I need these cells, I need calcine, I need Huxt. And we just kept on kind of bombarding them. And they were like, they arranged everything so nicely. So, special thank and, thank you, Dr. Radha. You opened your lab, for us. We all bugged, her students. So, without their constant help, it could not be possible. So, thanks to them, please. Obviously, all of the participants interacted with the, my co-team members, but still, it's my, pleasant responsibility to thank them again from here. So, Kasturi has left, sorry, not Kasturi. Ketki has left for another meeting, for Australia. She is not here, but if others are here, I will request them to stand up. Sheetal, Saurav, and Ketki. So we started with them. Is Gautam around from Radha's lab? I don't know, yeah, so yeah, he is not here. He was always a support. But although we started with these people, but we realized that managing these 45, 50 people was not possible for us, just few of us. So others who joined, Deepa, are you around? Yes, so thank you, Deepa. And Abrar, yes, you helped us on the first day. And obviously all of the workshop participants, I also owe you an apology that because the number went up so high, the way we thought it to be hands-on, it was really not hands-on in that sense, but I hope you all enjoyed that 3 days, interaction. And I can feel confidently that you enjoyed because I really had to show you can now go for dinner, stop it, otherwise you are going to miss it. So I'm sure that you enjoyed that, and it was a lot of learning for all of us. And yeah, thank you so much, and thank you, Team CPHMS, thank you.
I'm just going to, final vote of thanks, I promise you.
Any of the students, if they would like to come.
Would anyone like to come up and share their experiences? I think everyone's hungry. It's okay. So good evening, everyone. And I'd like to first and foremost thank all of you for your patience and your participation throughout these 5 days of the conference proceedings. It's been a very long journey, but we're very glad that you could be part of it. And all of us sincerely hope that you had a great time and whatever you learned at this conference will be of use to you. I'd like to begin by thanking our funding agencies for all of their support. We're grateful to the European Molecular Biology Organization, the Department of Biotechnology and India Alliance, the Humane Society of India, the Council for Scientific and Industrial Research, the Science and Engineering Research Board, the Company of Biologists, and the Indian Society for Developmental Biology. I would also like to thank the Secretary of the Department of Biotechnology, Dr. Rajesh Gokhale, for taking out the time to attend our conference and for interacting with everyone. Next, I'd like to express my heartfelt gratitude to the directors of CSIR CCMB and CSIR ISCT for their support during this meeting. I want to thank the following departments from CCMB for all of their guidance and support throughout these 5 days. We truly would not have been able to pull off any of this without their help. The departments of Transport, Canteen, IT, LTS, Guest House, Engineering and Instrumentation, Gardening, Dispensary, Security, and Administration. Additionally, I'd like to thank the auditorium staff, the LTS department, and security from CSIR ISCT. I also want to thank our industry benefactors, Thermo Fisher, Notech, and Inspiro for their support. A note of gratitude to Dr. Abhijit and his team for all of the hard work that they've done with this workshop. I think it truly was one of the highlights of this conference, and I hope everyone enjoyed and had a great time learning about their work. I'd also like to thank all of the volunteers from CCMB and AIC for all of the support throughout these 5 days. And I'd like to thank the entire team at AIC CCMB for all of their support and encouragement during these past few months. A sincere note of gratitude to Dr. Radha and Dr. Madhu for all of their mentoring and constant guidance. We wouldn't have been able to pull this off without you. And finally, I'd like to express gratitude to the CPHMS team. Thank you, Surat, for paving the way for us, and I hope that we can continue to do a lot of good work and take CPHMS forward. And a final thank you to my friends Kasturi and Kadambari for bearing with all of the fights that we have had, all of the late nights we have pulled, and these crazy 5 days that we've pulled off. Thank you for your support, and none of this would have been possible without you guys. Thank you all for coming, and I hope you've had a great time and you have a great night. And one more thing, I would like to thank BVRK sir, who has been a tremendous support for every small thing we needed. Anything we asked, we would constantly call sir. Even for the smallest of things, sir was always there like an angel. Thank you so much, sir, for all of your support. Have a great night, everyone.